So for my Slave Across the Street project, I decided to write a letter to the author. The story really touched me in a personal way, and I really tried to highlight what I took away from the story versus like what school she went to and all of that stuff. So I hope my message gets across. Dear Teresa Flores, first I wanted to thank you for having the strength to share your story with the world. I am sure you have heard this time and time again, but it is truly admirable to discover how far you have come in this life. Your book opened my eyes in new ways. I truly felt like I was looking through the eyes of a victim. I will never be able to feel the way you felt during that life-changing time in and out of those dark, cold basements. But with that being said, your book really does allow readers like myself to take off those rose-colored glasses and just sit and learn about the epidemic going on in this world. While I have not experienced sexual assault like this in my lifetime, I do identify with you, Teresa. As a survivor of sexual assault myself, I understand not being able to reach out when assault happens. It is such a lonely feeling. The truth is that no 15-year-old has the resources to cope with sexual assault or rape by themselves. Yet we feel such shame when it happens. The work you are doing truly has helped break down the stigma behind talking about sexual assault and human trafficking. One major thing I am still curious about is after the incident where Nick said that you had no name. You mentioned how dehumanizing that felt. You felt as if you were no longer human and you no longer mattered anymore because you weren't even worth someone knowing your name anymore. So I was just wondering, did that event allow you to disassociate easier when those horrific acts were happening to you? While it is hard, and I understand that that's not a typical question to ask, I would like to know because I myself have used the feelings of dehumanization to cope with trauma as I was going through it. So I was just curious. I was so intrigued by your book that I looked around and I watched your TED Talk from 2011 when you spoke about soap. While connecting the two, I found myself wondering what key parts to your upbringing as a child could contribute to you ending up in a human trafficking ring. You mentioned that because of your father's job, you were moving around every 2 years, almost on the dot. And because of this, you were never really around any of your extended family, nor were you really able to establish strong enough relationships for anyone to really notice a change in your behavioral pattern. Do you think this may have contributed to you saying yes to the person who took advantage of you when they were just supposed to take you home? Now, we all know that you did nothing wrong. Victims are never to blame. None of this was your fault, and I can understand that brief lapse in judgment to satisfy that yearning for another form of connection in the life that you were living. But our minds pull quick moves on us without us even knowing sometimes. All in all, your story of surviving assault from a disgusting man after disgusting man, braving those smoke-filled basements, the beatings, the horrid dehumanizing acts that were done to you, are sorrowful. But your strength and determination are more admirable. Thank you for continuing to advocate for victims. Grace Haven is a home that Teresa Flores was a part of, where they housed 10 minors who had just gotten out of sex trafficking rings, and they were able to be children, get therapy, and fully recover in this home, and they only house 10 at a time. So that's a brief explanation about that real quick. But Grace Haven is a wonderful way to put multidisciplinary teams to good use by allowing these kids to get help and also be children again. You, Teresa, are a shining star in this dim world. Best, and then it's me, my signature. Thank you for watching my video.